The entertainment world was thrown into chaos when breaking news surfaced. Xiao Zhan, one of the most beloved stars in Asia, had officially signed a solo deal with a top entertainment powerhouse. At first glance, it looked like a dream opportunity, a chance for Xiao Zhan to expand his career, step into uncharted waters, and build his legacy beyond his current status. But then came the twist that stunned fans, executives, and even the media. Xiao Zhan made it crystal clear that he would not proceed with the deal unless Wang Yibo was included in his journey. What was supposed to be a simple career move instantly became a storm of emotions, loyalty, and unshakable brotherhood that had fans screaming across social media platforms. Imagine the scene: the grand signing hall filled with flashing cameras, industry executives in perfectly tailored suits, the glossy table where Xiao Zhan was to put down his name, and the air buzzing with excitement. The pen hovered in his hand, his smile polite, but his eyes were burning with determination. Everyone thought the deal was already sealed. But in one breathtaking moment, Xiao Zhan paused, looked up, and dropped the line that changed everything. "If Wang Yibo isn't by my side in this, I can't sign." The silence that followed was deafening. You could almost hear the collective gasp of the crowd, the scratching of pens stopping mid-note, the snapping cameras freezing as if the world itself had stopped. This wasn't just a refusal. This was a declaration of loyalty, of brotherhood, and perhaps something even deeper that fans couldn't stop speculating about. Insiders whispered that executives had tried to push Xiao Zhan into standing alone. After all, the deal was worth millions, promising international tours, solo albums, brand endorsements, and an artistic freedom rarely granted in the industry. Yet Xiao Zhan stood firm, as if his entire career meant nothing without Wang Yibo's presence. For many, it was a moment that revealed the true heart of their bond, a bond forged through sweat, challenges, and the undeniable chemistry that had once captured the world in The Untamed. And so, what should have been a straightforward press event turned into a dramatic standoff, the kind that belongs in movies rather than real life. Picture Xiao Zhan walking out of the hall with cameras chasing him, reporters shouting questions. Why refuse the deal? What does Wang Yibo mean to you? Are you throwing away millions for him? But Xiao Zhan remained calm. He adjusted his jacket, his steps firm, his smile soft yet unshakable. And with the gentlest but sharpest answer, he said, "Some things money can't buy. Some bonds can't be broken. I don't move forward without him." The internet exploded. Within minutes, hashtags like #Xiao Zhan refuses deal without Wang Yibo and #Yibo Zhan forever trended worldwide. Fans cried, screamed, and created endless edits of their past moments together. Comment sections flooded with lines like, "This is loyalty at its finest. True friendship still exists in this industry. And is this just brotherhood, or something more?" Behind the scenes, executives scrambled. They hadn't expected Xiao Zhan to be so firm. Some called him reckless, others called him brave. But everyone, even his critics, had to admit one thing. Xiao Zhan had just made one of the boldest moves in modern entertainment. It didn't stop there. That night, sources claim Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo met in a quiet restaurant far away from flashing cameras. The city lights reflected off the glass, their faces half hidden behind baseball caps, but the glow between them was undeniable. Witnesses said they laughed softly, spoke in low voices, and at one point, Xiao Zhan leaned across the table with such intensity that anyone watching could feel the depth of the moment. Insiders whispered that Xiao Zhan confessed what he had done, how he had turned down everything for Wang Yibo. And Wang Yibo's reaction? A stunned silence, followed by one of the rarest smiles he ever lets the world see. That smile, fans say, was brighter than any contract. Imagine Wang Yibo reaching across the table, placing a hand over Xiao Zhan's, and saying something like, "If you're willing to give it all up for me, then I'll walk with you through everything." That moment, whether captured or not, became immortal in the minds of fans. It was no longer about fame, money, or contracts. It was about loyalty, a loyalty so rare in the entertainment world that it left everyone questioning the true meaning of partnership. The story didn't just stay in Asia. Global media outlets picked it up, running headlines like, Xiao Zhan turns down millions for Wang Yibo. The bond that defies business logic. Brotherhood or something more. Executives, realizing they were at risk of losing not just Xiao Zhan but also his massive fan base, began to reconsider. What once looked like a solo deal quickly shifted into negotiations that had Wang Yibo's name etched into them. Rumors flew that Yibo himself was approached, not just as a companion, but as a co-star in a project that was supposed to be Xiao Zhan's alone. And fans? Fans were on fire. Edits flooded TikTok and Weibo, showing their most emotional scenes from the Untamed alongside clips of this real-life loyalty. Memes spread, artworks bloomed, and people across the world typed one shared sentiment. This isn't just showbiz. This is destiny. The climax of the drama arrived days later when Xiao Zhan finally addressed fans directly in a live stream. Sitting casually, hair slightly tousled, his voice calm but honest, he explained why he had done what he did. He didn't say much. He didn't have to. Just a few heartfelt words. We started this journey together, and I don't want to continue it without him. Tears streamed down from fans watching worldwide. Because in that one line, Xiao Zhan had stripped away the glitz of fame and revealed something pure, something rare, something the world had almost forgotten existed. And Wang Yibo, days later, in his own cryptic way, he posted just 3 words on his social media. Words that sent fans spiraling into hysteria, dissecting every possible meaning. Always with you. Could it get any more cinematic? Could reality itself write a script better than this? At that moment, the entertainment industry learned something shocking. Sometimes, the strongest power in showbiz isn't money, contracts, or fame. It's the unshakable loyalty between 2 people who refuse to let each other go. And whether you call it brotherhood, friendship, or something even deeper, one thing is clear. Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo are rewriting the rules, not just in entertainment, but in the very hearts of their fans. This isn't just a career move. This is history. So tell me, what do you think? Did Xiao Zhan just prove the true meaning of loyalty? Is this just friendship, or is there more hidden behind their bond? Drop your thoughts below, and let's dive into this together. The drama was far from over. The moment Xiao Zhan pushed back the contract and uttered the words, "I can't do this without Wang Yibo," a ripple of shock shook the room like thunder rolling across a silent valley. Executives froze, managers exchanged panicked looks, and even the assistants holding stacks of paperwork almost dropped everything. No one expected Xiao Zhan to take such a bold stand, not when the deal had been meticulously crafted to propel him into solo stardom. Yet, in that hall filled with suits and flashing lights, Xiao Zhan's voice carried more weight than any contract ever could. His tone was steady, but the fire in his eyes was impossible to ignore. The cameras caught every flicker of emotion, the way his hand lingered on the pen, the way his lips pressed into a thin line of defiance, and the way he sat back, unyielding, as though daring anyone to challenge his words. One executive, visibly unsettled, leaned forward and whispered, "Xiao Zhan, this is the chance of a lifetime. You'll be free to create, free to lead. Why tie yourself to someone else's shadow?" The room held its breath. Xiao Zhan turned his gaze to the man, calm but piercing, and replied with a softness that cut sharper than steel. "It isn't about shadows. It's about light. And without Wang Yibo, the light isn't the same." That single line shattered the carefully controlled atmosphere of the press room. Gasps echoed like falling dominoes, and within seconds, social media exploded as fans who had managed to livestream the event blasted the clip worldwide. Outside the building, a storm of supporters had already gathered, waving banners, holding fan-made posters, and chanting both their names. When the news broke, the chants became deafening. "Xiao Zhan, Wang Yibo, Xiao Zhan, Wang Yibo." The crowd moved like a single wave of emotion, their loyalty fueling the very air around the hall. Meanwhile, inside, the tension reached its peak. Xiao Zhan's manager quietly tugged his sleeve, trying to convince him to reconsider. But Xiao Zhan didn't budge. Instead, he rose from his seat, buttoned his blazer with deliberate grace, and bowed politely to the executives. His words were final. "Thank you for this offer. But if it doesn't include him, then it doesn't include me." And with that, he walked out. Cameras flashed like lightning, chasing him down the corridor as reporters shouted question after question. But Xiao Zhan remained unshaken, his steps strong, his silence louder than any explanation. Later that evening, an insider revealed that Xiao Zhan didn't go straight home. He drove to a quiet rooftop café in Beijing, a hidden place he and Wang Yibo had visited many times before. The city lights stretched endlessly below, cars moving like rivers of fire. Yet the world felt hushed in that secret haven. And there, under the soft glow of hanging lanterns, Wang Yibo was waiting. Fans who claimed to have seen them from a distance described a moment so cinematic, it could have been lifted straight from a drama script. Xiao Zhan walked in, his posture tense but his face lit with relief when his eyes found Yibo. Wang Yibo, dressed casually in a hoodie and cap, looked up from his phone with a grin that was both teasing and tender. "You really turned down millions?" he asked, half incredulous, half amused. Xiao Zhan sat across from him, leaning forward, the exhaustion of the day melting into quiet vulnerability. "I did. Because what's the point of millions if I lose the one person who makes this journey worth it?" For a moment, Wang Yibo didn't respond. He just studied Xiao Zhan, as if memorizing every detail of his face. Then, slowly, he leaned back and smirked in that signature way that only he could pull off. "Crazy," Yibo finally said. "But I'd do the same." That simple sentence was all Xiao Zhan needed. The two of them clinked their coffee mugs together, the quiet sound ringing like a secret promise. And though the cafe was nearly empty, the bond they shared filled the entire space, wrapping them in an aura of something stronger than fame, something untouchable. By the next morning, clips of their rooftop meeting had gone viral. A blurry fan-captured video showed Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo laughing together, the city skyline glowing behind them. Fans called it the most romantic scene reality has ever given us. Hashtags like #SiaoZhanChoosesAble and #ForeverBejan dominated global trends. Executives were forced to rethink their stance. Overnight, what had been pitched as a solo Xiao Zhan project transformed into talks of a duo deal, a package that would feature both stars, side by side, not as competitors but as equals. Rumors swirled of a music collaboration, joint brand endorsements, even a film designed to showcase their chemistry once again. But more than the business side, it was the emotion behind Xiao Zhan's choice that gripped the world. In an industry often criticized for betrayal, rivalry, and individualism, he was a man who openly declared that success without loyalty wasn't success at all. When Xiao Zhan finally addressed fans in a live stream days later, his words melted hearts across the globe. Sitting casually in a dimly lit room, he smiled shyly into the camera and said, "I know many of you wanted me to take this step alone, but the truth is, I never want to walk alone. From the beginning, Yibo has been my partner, and if I'm going to chase dreams, I want him in the picture too." Chat sections flooded instantly. Emojis of crying faces, hearts, and endless comments like "This is real loyalty. My heart can't take this," and they are rewriting history together scrolled endlessly. And as if the universe was in sync, Wang Yibo posted a short but powerful message on his own platform just hours later. "Some journeys are meant for two." It was enough to seal the story as legendary. Fans across the world knew they were witnessing something extraordinary, not just a career move, but a love letter to loyalty, partnership, and the unshakable bond between Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo. So now the question remains, was this just loyalty between two stars, or is it something even deeper? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. Xiao Zhan's refusal to sign without Wang Yibo is a story that will be remembered for years to come, a moment where heart triumphed over fame. And for the millions watching, it's a reminder that sometimes the greatest power in the world isn't money, contracts, or fame. It's simply refusing to let go of the one person who makes the journey worth it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Xiao Zhan's bold decision and the bond that keeps fans on the edge of their seats, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more explosive updates and mind-blowing stories. This journey isn't over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.